Hello guys, this is Ronald. We are back again in business with Dungeon Universalis. We have another video for the mini-series of the Dark Player. The last time we have seen the common techniques of the Dark Player, and this time we will have a deeper look into all the cards that are coming with Dungeon Universalis. And there are... Let's start right off. There are three types of cards coming with Dungeon Universalis. They all have the same back cover, so you cannot, the heroes cannot see what kind of card the Dark Player has on his hand. And there are three different kind of types, different type of cards. I'm sorry. We have obstacle cards. We have encounter cards, and we have power cards, and we will have a look at these decks over here that are also separated into these categories. And there are 85 Dark Player cards coming with Dungeon Universalis in the current version. Let's see if there are changes in the reprint. And yes, we will start with the obstacle cards and have a look at them. I'm cleaning up a bit. Okay. All of these cards are the so-called obstacle cards. Obstacle cards are most of them. This part are traps, and there are a lot of traps, and there are a lot of kind of traps, and everything where a Dark Player's heart is brightening up, or whatever the term is in English, I'm sorry. It's cheering up. Oh, he will get happy if he has traps on his hand. Okay, so let's see. We have a trap card, and here's the name for the card. There is a text. Sometimes it's a fluff or flavor text, but there are also the description, what's happening here, and how to deal with this kind of trap. And then there are several other informations that are very important, like each other Dark Player's card. For example, like the encounter card over here. You have a cost of reserve points you have to spend if you want to play this card. You have a discard value. If you don't want to play this card and discard it, then you will get this amount of points as an addition to your reserve point counter. You can see that in my last in the previous video. And then you have the allowed places where you can play this card, this obstacle card. So this card is allowed everywhere. You can play it if the hero's in a room, if he's in a corridor, if he tries to open a door, or if he's trying to open a chest. And in all these places, you can play this poison dart trap. Let's see. We have traps that can only be played if you are in a corridor or in a room. Same over here. This trap can only be activated in corridors. We'll have a look at this in a few minutes. And no special door or trap. We have it in another staple of the deck. Okay, but back to the poison dart. So you may have seen up here there are icons with numbers. This is a perception value, this is a dexterity value. So if a hero is triggering this trap card, or also the Dark Player is playing the trap card, then the hero has a chance to detect this trap the Dark Player is trying to play. So he has to roll for, he has to make a deception test, a perception test, I'm sorry. And if he has at least a result of 10, then the hero is aware of the trap, and he's not stepping onto it. So he's not activating the trap. The trap is still there. So let's see if we have this small board over here. So if the hero is going over here and the Dark Player wants to activate the poison dart on this square, then the hero have to make a perception test. If he is successful in the test, the hero is aware that there will be a trap, and he will stop his movement here. And the trap isn't triggered, but it is on this square and there's maybe most or some of the, at least some of the traps are coming with overlays. So let's see if I have a demo overlay. This is an awful preparation. I've missed that, but I will cut this out, I promise. Like always, I will cut this out. I'm one of the best cutters in the world, and let's see. Okay, this is the part of a blade trap. So if the dark player has played the blades trap card, the obstacle card, there this overlay will be here. So now the heroes can easily go around it, or can try to deactivate the trap. And this is where this value is coming into play, the dexterity value. So the hero can try to deactivate this trap and making a dexterity test with all his bonus or subtractions you may have, and then he have to reach at least a result of 8 in total for the test. Then he has successfully deactivated the trap. If he's missing this, or if he has missed to the perception test, the trap will be triggered and everything happens what is listed here. And this is, as you can imagine, in most cases, this is very, very bad. Not even for the hero alone, for the hero, but maybe for the whole characters in the room. Let's see if we have an example for this. Let's see, here's an electric shock. This is only for the player who has triggered this. He will suffer 5 damage dice. So this is a lot already. But 10 if he's wearing heavy armor. 10 damage dice is a lot of damage dice if you have maybe some hit points of 5 or 6 or something. Then 10 is a damn high amount of dice, of damage dice. Okay, let's see what we have. Also have what kind of traps we have. A deep crack that is raising from the in the ground. The players can have to jump over it, or maybe someone are falling into it. We have this is kind of special. Dropping portcullis that are blocking the way. We have closing walls, like in every adventure game. There are closing walls that only can be played in rooms. We have a block of stone. We have a fireball. There's always a fireball in each dungeon crawler. We have stakes. We have a flooded area. This is very cool. The whole section. So in this case, if this card would have been played here, the whole section will be flooded, and all doors will be closed immediately and can only be broken. And during each dark player's turn, the water will rise 1 point of height. And when it reaches the height of 4, what is, if you have watched my other videos or read the rulebook already on your own, then you will know 4 is the height of walls. And yes, if the water has reached 4, the room is full of water, and every character in this flooded area will suffer 2 damage dice against natural armor because they are drowning. And then this will happen until all the players are dead, or if they manage to break a door. Sorry. Mental attack, rock slide. So there's each square in this area is difficult terrain. Crossfire. This is great. All the characters located in the current section receive a 1 volt impact, which causes 3 damage dice. So this poor guy is activating a trap, and all the others have to suffer too. Great. We have a pit and another pit, and there's just more pits. We have a lot of pits. We have poisonous gas in there again. All the players in the area will suffer the damage. We have a guillotine, dropping portcullis again. We have a magic blast and flares, and a black hole trap to catch some bears or whatever. So we have a lot of traps. We have another cool idea is like this is an alarm trap, and this is not a trap dealing damage. This is the dark player can play the next enemy spotted, ambush, or reinforcements card at no cost. This is also great because this card only costs one reserve point, and you can play maybe an ambush card. Let's see, an ambush card is at a cost of 6, and if the heroes cannot see the trap, or they are failing in deactivating the trap, yeah, they will have a problem because they are helping the dark players spawning creatures. Great. These are just the traps, and there are in the obstacles deck, this is important, there are other kind of obstacles. This is why it's not the trap deck, but the obstacle deck. We have darkness, for example. We have darkness, so there are many characters that have the skill lost in the dark, and they will get penalties for if there's darkness and they cannot see and they are in fear of the darkness and whatever. And so the dark player can play a card to make the whole section in darkness, and all the creatures in there will suffer a penalty, or if they are lost in the dark. Yes. Okay, it affects all creatures that possess the skill Lost in the Dark. They suffer. Okay, and then we have complete darkness. Sometimes it's written as total darkness, I guess, in the rulebook. But this card is called complete darkness, and then all creatures, also the enemies, the monsters, except they have the skill Underworld or Undead, all of them will suffer a penalty. Darkness again. We have a vigilant watchman or whatever watchman, and the dark player gets a +2 to the results of the initiative roll if he spawns any characters beyond the explored door, and this means you can only play this card on a door. But because this isn't a trap, you haven't the icon down here. We have Debris, we have the canticles again. Okay, these are kind of obstacles we have, but there's more. We have the doors. We have a distraction. This is a nice feature, but I don't spoil you too much. But we have portcullis and rolling rock. Rolling rock is very cool. This is like Indiana Jones. There's also an overlay for a rock, and this rock is moving each dark player's turn, and is rolling after the heroes. And if they got catched by the rock, they will get damage until they can flee from it. Or we have an ice wall, a fire wall, a stone wall. But not an air wall. Why there isn't an air wall? Oh, I'm so funny. Okay, there's the last parts of this are the obstacles are door cards, door or chest cards. These can only be played for doors. And there's a door card. There's a door card icon down here, or a chest icon. And so if a hero is trying to open a door and the dark player says, haha, not in my house, then he can try to lock the door. And if the door is locked, the heroes may make a dexterity test to try to open it silently, and if they fail, the door is locked forever because they only have one chance, and then they only can break the door, and it's treated as like an enemy that has a vitality and an armor, and they have to break it down with their weapons, and for each hit the door gets, and for each round that is processing, they need to open the door by breaking it. The monsters behind the door will get a bonus for their initiative roll. So this is a great feature to make so if you're going to spawn monsters in the room behind the door, in the section, if there's a corridor or whatever, then you can make them stronger, and you can make them harder for the heroes to beat them, because maybe you have a +2 or +3 for the initiative, and if they are losing the initiative, just watch my other videos about initiative and you will see what's happening then. And then we have an even worse card. It's a reinforced door, where the door is much stronger. We have locked doors again. There are a lot of locked doors. We have riddles. And riddles are like locked doors, but you are not dealing with them with a dexterity roll. You have to use your intelligence to solve the riddle and to open the door. And we have the same for like reinforced doors. We have armored chests, so we can make a chest even stronger to open, because chests are always locked, and they can be reinforced only. Okay, where can these obstacle cards be played? We haven't talked about this. There are some different locations where they can be played, and I don't mean the rooms or the corridors. So which square or what has to happen that you can play such a card as a dark player. So let's see what's needed, what's required for playing this card. So whenever a hero steps out of his safe zone or the safe zone of his companions, then you can play an obstacle card. So the safe zone, like in my other videos I already have told you, is around 2 spaces of... Oops, the door is falling down. 2 spaces of each... Around each character there are 2 spaces around that are the safe zone where no obstacle card can be played, and this is important. So if this guy is starting this activation over here, there are no other companions. If he's walking about here, 1, 2, 1, 2, then there cannot be played an obstacle card. But if he's leaving this zone, maybe he's stepping there, this is the 3rd space, 1, 2, 3. The dark player can choose to now play an obstacle card here before he is finally placing his character there, because if he's playing a trap and the hero notices the trap, he will end his movement here and the trap will be placed here. But on the other, if the hero doesn't see the trap, he will end his movement here on the trap and activating the trap. Bad for the hero. Okay, then obstacle cards can be played when the heroes are adjacent to a chest and they say they want to open the chest. If they are adjacent to a door and they say they want to open the door. If they are stepping onto an exploration arrow, you can play an obstacle card. If they are having a blunder when they are searching furniture, you can play an obstacle card. And I hope I haven't missed a thing. I'm just looking on my cheat sheet. Okay. Maybe in some quest sheets there are traps already placed on the map, on the scenario map. There with predefined squares. Then the dark player will play an obstacle card on this field. Because the quest sheet tells it. Okay, that's it. On these occasions you can play an obstacle card and try to beat the heroes to death. Alright, this is the first part of these. I make a short break, coming back to you in a moment. There we are back again. Magically appeared some cards over here, and these are the encounter cards because we are going to talk about encounters now. And the encounter deck isn't as high as the other ones, but they are having one of the most important techniques of a dark player is to spawn new creatures, and to do this we have 3 kind of situations when this can happen, and this is why I've made 3 small decks of this one great encounter deck. So let's start with the easiest one, with the one that is without any surprise. Let's see, we have the options to spawn creatures when a character reveals a new unexplored section. This can happen after we have we had some exploration arrows. They explored a new section. We lay it down over here, and then the dark player can play a card from his hand saying, haha, now I'm going to spawn a wandering creature. Or if the heroes are opening this door and it falls down, and we place a room here at this place, the door is open. I'm sorry I don't have any 3D open doors. Maybe I take one from HeroQuest for the next time. Okay, and then the dark player can play this card, and he can spawn a wandering creature. So this is very easy. The creature he's allowed to spawn may up to worth 2 points. It isn't limited to one creature. He can also spawn 2 creatures that are worth up to 2 points. So he can choose. He can decide if he wants to spawn 1 monster with up to 2 points or 2 monsters with 1 point. I'm very great at math, and as you can see, and this is everything about that. These are the wandering creature cards. Then you have the enemy spotted cards, and this is the same, except you can place creatures up to 6 points because this card costs 6 points, and you cannot play 2 cards of this in the same section that is revealed, except it's a large room or in the main room. The wandering creature doesn't have this limitation. So you can play all your 3 wandering creatures cards in the same room if you want to. If this makes any sense to you, I don't know. You have 4 cards of this, and there are the special creatures, and this is also a great feature. You can decide on your own how many points you want to spend for this special creature, and this special creature isn't limited to the faction you're playing with. So the adventure, before you're starting the quest, you choose, or you will take the one that is stated with it. You will choose a faction, maybe let's say the Great Orc Tribes, and so there are champion or elite monsters in the like a troll or an evil orc, super sorcerer, whatever. These are the factions, elite and champion creatures. But with this special creature card, you can spawn creatures that don't belong to the current faction. So you can take the bestiary and say, oh, we are playing with the Great Orc Tribes, but this time we are spawning a very bad as okay, we are spawning a great demon, or we are spawning an evil human warrior monk, or whatever, a giant spider, or whatever, an elite or champion from another faction. And you can say you can choose how many reserve points you want to spend for this, and this is a very, very nice card to make some surprises to the heroes. Are there limits? No 2 cards of this can be in the same section, unless it's a large or a main room, like the enemy spotted card. That's it. And if you're playing, if you're not so experienced with the factions and whatever, or you're playing with the artificial dark player, you will always have the option to use this spawn tables, like here for the bandits. This is the bestiary we haven't, as you may have imagined already. And you have the spawn table, and according to the type of card you're playing, you will roll the die and see what kind of creatures waiting here. And you can see that the special creatures in the spawn table is always sticking to the faction. But if you are playing as a human dark player, this is a great philosophical question or statement. Okay, let's skip this. As a human dark player, you aren't bound to the current faction, and you can play whatever special creature. But this is always in the spawn table is always for the current faction. And let's see if you maybe an outlaw sorcerer, an assassin with a skill poisonous, or a bandit boss, or whatever. And this is why you have this is the explanation why there are 3 columns and not 1 for the creatures that are spawned, because you have 3 different type of cards, of encounter cards. So, okay, but there are 2 other. These were just for the encounters when when the heroes reveal a new unexplored section. But there's more, and this is great. Once again, we have cards that are called ambush. And ambush cards, encounter cards, can be played at the beginning of your exploration turns. This was a bad misunderstanding for me, because the dark player cannot take any. The dark player's creatures cannot take any exploratory actions, and what the dark player has exploration turns. This means each round of Dungeon Universalis is divided into the turns for the heroes and the turn for the dark player. And if there isn't a combat, or the heroes are not in the combat mode, or they don't have combat turns to stick to the official terms, then they have exploration turns, and if they have exploration turns, the dark player also have exploration turns. So this means you can only play this ambush card if there isn't combat running. And this is, I'm sorry that it took so long, this is the difference to the reinforcement cards. They are both almost the same. This is the very great difference. So you can only play an ambush if you have if there isn't a combat running, and you can only play reinforcements if there is a combat running. This is the difference. And in both cases, how does this work? You place creatures worth up to 6 points in the section that has been already explored. So not in a new explored, because there's already maybe there's already, like in the reinforcements, a combat running. So there's isn't usually exploration. So you let's see, the heroes are fighting over here, or they're not fighting, depending on which card you want to play. And so you can spawn creatures not in here, but here, because this is already explored. So if there's a combat running, you can play reinforcements and you can spawn the monsters here. If there is not a combat running, you can spawn creatures too, but not here, but here. These are the functionality of reinforcements and ambush. And there are some rules that caught by surprise won't be applied. Check this on your own. But this is the main difference. There's another card called Thief. I don't want to spoil everything. This is a very funny card. Let there be some surprise if you are not having already the game. And if you have the game, then just check the card on your own. Okay, that was it for the encounters. And there's one category left. This is about the power cards with this demon icon. And I'm going to make a short break again. I'm back to you in a few seconds. So, back again. Welcome back. The last category of Dark Players cards are the power cards with that demonic icon over here. And these cards are kind of buffs for the monsters in most cases. Let's see. These are the buffs for the monsters, and the other ones are just other buffs or power up for the dark player itself or for the monsters. But let's see. Let's have a look. We have healing cards. We can heal a monster that has already lost some vitality points, so we can heal it. We have just a card to gain more reserve points. You can play this card and receive 5 reserve points. That's it. Great deal. You have cards of fortitude like healing. You can de-stun, unstun. You can remove the condition stun from a creature. You have a very funny technique. If you're lucky to have both of these cards in the correct order, you can have a card to let a creature that is already wounded can be removed from the board, from the combat. So it's like it just disappearing. And if you play this card in the next combat, you can let this creature return. So you can power up your encounter. You change an almost dead creature to an almost new creature because he's recovering some vitality, and bring him back to the fight. Great. You have a lot of fortune cards. If you've watched some of my other videos, I've always told that the only characters in the game that have fortune points are the heroes, and this is why they are heroes, because they are the ones who have luck, and this is why they are the heroes. And but with these cards, the fortune cards, they are all the same. This is just a decent amount of cards of them. You can play them. That the dark player can play this card as if it was a fortune point, and it affects one creature of his choice, and it can be used to force an enemy to repeat a roll. This is a limitation. As a hero player, a hero character can re-roll his own roll, or he can force the dark player to re-roll his roll. There are a lot of rolls in my sentences, but the dark player cannot force the hero to re-roll. He can only re-roll his own. Okay. Sorry for that interruption. That's a German saying. You shall stop when it can't get any better. And this is what my camera wanted to tell me, because the battery died. I had to put a charger on. Hopefully this will help. And we are talking about the fortune, and I guess we were finished with that. Let's see. I'll try to make it short for the rest. We have other cards, and this is the large part of the deck, the buffs for the monsters. So we can give them a monster the skill of regeneration. We can give him poisonous weapons, accuracy for better ranged attacks. We can make a sorcerer an even greater sorcerer, make the sorcerer great again. We have an outstanding warrior, disease, berserker, stealthy creature, quick, stun, blah blah blah, fear, hidden, and so on, and this and so on, and that's it. These are the cards for the combat when we have creatures that could benefit from it. And I haven't told you this, I guess, or maybe I had in the previous video about the setup. When you're building the decks for a human dark player, then you will have two decks, and like you have seen, we have three kind of cards. We have encounter cards, we have power cards, we have obstacle cards. When you are going to build the deck for the dark player, you will mix together the obstacle cards with the power cards. So you have two decks, the encounter. You can decide if you want to draw a card at the beginning of your turn, to draw a card from the encounter deck or from the power / obstacle deck. And so you don't know if you're getting if you're getting an obstacle card or a power card when you draw a card from this deck. And so, because you have a hand card limit, it could be that you are drawing one power card after another, and you cannot use it because you don't have any creatures on the board. So you have to discard them, and you don't have them in your when there is a fight coming. Then you may draw a card from that deck, and you only get obstacle cards from the deck. So this is a mechanism that is highly luck dependent, and can make the quest for the dark player be very good or very bad, as always. But this is an Ameritrash game, and everything here is luck based, and this is the the great thing about it. And so these are many cards. These are the power cards and the obstacle cards, all of them. And you don't have this amount of of cards in the game. Like in the previous video, I already told you, you will the quest will often tell you how which cards you have to discard from the beginning you don't have available in the quest, or explicitly which cards are may be added to the deck. And then you will have a deck, and then you will choose depending on how many heroes are joining the quest. There's an amount of cards which are randomly chosen from the whole power and obstacle deck to decide which cards are in the play. And it can happen with this way that you will have an escape card that I've shown you for a creature to remove from the board, but you will not have a return card, or the other way around. And maybe you will get the return card at the beginning, and you say, "Ha, great, there's a return card. Now I just have to wait until I have the escape card," and the escape card is never coming. And this is drama, I know. This is the life of a dark player. You have to deal with it, or you have to let the bots once again take your job, and you will join the heroes and play against an artificial dark player. And with these words, I'm finishing this video now. Thank you for watching. We are at 140 subscribers of my channel, which is absolutely great. There's only one friend, one wife, and one other account from me counting in this 140 subscribers. This is very unbelievable for me that there are so many people interested in my videos. Great for great for your kind words you're leaving in the comments, and if you like it, show it. Push the like button. Be curious for the next video where we are going to talk about the ADP, the artificial dark player, and what's going on with him. What are the differences to the dark player, to a human dark player? And this is everything for now. Thank you once again. Have a great day. Bye.